Hi, I'm Joni, and I'm going to be doing Level 2 of Bloom's Taxonomy, Understanding. Understanding. Learners comprehend the meaning of the material presented and predict consequences from it. This means with our shoe tying, they understand that there's a certain process that they have to do, and they know that if they do this process, then they're going to have their shoes tied. And learners are able to describe their understanding of what's presented and discuss how the new material learned may or may not work in their own environment. Well, of course, it's going to work, because in order for them to not trip or fall and get hurt, they need to tie their shoes. Of course, unless they have Velcro shoes. But they need to remember how to tie their shoes, and then the next step is understanding that when they do tie their shoes, they're not going to fall and they're not going to get hurt. Okay. This type of thinking skills tells you that a learner can grasp and interpret prior learning. Like I just said, they need to remember it, and then in remembering how to do it, they understand that there are certain ways that they need to tie their shoes in order for their shoes to stay tied, so that they don't come undone, so that they don't trip and fall and get hurt. So remembering and understanding obviously go hand in hand. If they can't remember, then they can't understand something that they don't remember. So obviously they need to remember the steps in tying their shoes and understand why they need to take the certain steps that they need to take in order to tie their shoes. Understanding is also a lower order thinking level. It's just above remembering, like I said. And some questions that you might want to ask is, tying your shoe the same as tying a knot? Well, kind of, sort of. Why or why not? Is this knot a good knot to tie your shoes? Well, you would have to say no, because they wouldn't be able to get that knot undone when they want to take their shoes off. And so it would be not a good knot for them to use. And what's happening here, they need to understand that they need to go through the process and tie their shoes in a certain sequence so that they make a knot that is untieable. So, is this tying a shoe? In a way, yes it is, but really it's more in making a knot to where they wouldn't be able to untie it. Well, they wouldn't be able to. Someone would be able to unknot it, but it's not a very good knot for tying their shoes. And what's the expectations here? They need to understand how to tie a knot. The reason that you go from one step to the next step, there's a certain order in which you need to go for tying your shoes. And they need to understand that. And once they do, then they'll be able to tie their own shoes. And with understanding, the child is asked the difference between a bad knot like this, like the previous one that we showed, and how to tie their shoes correctly with a knot that is correct. So like I said, then they can untie their shoe after they tie it.